This basic
Welcome to
triangular shape is
Amsterdam,
seen only on
and you can't
warehouses.
leave this city without
The
doing a
17th
boat tour,
century
and this is what
step
exactly
just
we are
as you
doing
expect,
today.
a series of steps. The net cable with its straight
So
up
this
and
is
down
me,
sides
Siddhant
and
Nakra,
scrollwork
and this
decorations
whole story will be
came a
my
bit later.
experience of the boat tour we did in Amsterdam. It was winter, so it was in December, and we were in Amsterdam. It was snowing. It was actually the second day of 2026, and it was a very cold weather on that day, and we decided to do a boat tour just outside the city central station.
The church you see
So
is
the
Saint
boat tour
Nicholas,
actually takes
which
you
was
around the
centuries
city and
ago
show you their
named
canals.
after the
If you don't know, then let me tell you that Netherlands and especially Amsterdam is very famous for its canals. And you have to do this boat tour so you can check how beautiful the city is, and you can get the real feel of the city actually.
traveling along what was once the outer defense wall of the city. The original city boundary was to the right.
Randomly, so locals gave it the nickname Silly Jack.
Not long after the spire and clocks were added, the tower began to list to one side. With some effort, it was pulled to rights. You might be wondering why so many buildings in the city tip to one side or the other. The ground in Amsterdam, a mix of peat, sand, and soil, is very soft. Because of this, buildings were generally designed to be as light as possible. None were very tall, and they often had lots of windows. For stability, they were built on a bed of wooden piles driven as deep as 15 meters, that's 45 feet, into the ground. But if these piles were exposed to the air, they began to rot, and the buildings they supported sank and shifted.
This is like a living Venice now.
Yeah. I feel it.
Yard, stone floors, wooden benches, and exposed ceiling beams. Its outdoor patio
The flea market.
for centuries, Jewish traders sold their wares here. Continue-
May be known for their tolerant attitudes, but they also have strong opinions. This piece of architecture was met with heavy protests that have since simmered down. In fact, that's how it got its name, Stopera. It's derived from the movement against the construction, Stop the Opera.
The Magere Brug, otherwise referred to as the famous Skinny Bridge, stretches all the way across the Amstel River. Of Amsterdam's 1,500 or so bridges, this is the most famous. It dates back to the 17th century and was likely a narrow footbridge. Since then,
And so, the farther you lived from the city center, the lower your social class. Today, this would no longer hold true. Get your camera ready. We're about to pass by one of the most photographed views in Amsterdam. 7 orange bridges over Regeliersgracht. An exception is the city's mayor, whose official residence is at number 502 Herengracht. Look for the great facade with white columns just before the bridge.
The golden age of the 17th century was a
The clatter of wheels on cobblestones. And dare we mention it? An unpleasant waft of sewage coming from the canal. Even more space. And single lot houses would often have a fake door on the side of the entryway to make them appear bigger than they were.
Rooms were richly decorated with painted wallpaper, oil paintings, fine sculptures, and exotics such as Turkish rugs and Persian silks.
It's like ice.
streets. Each street is a block long and full of quirky boutiques and specialty shops. It's a relaxing and fun place to explore. Hendrik de Keyser, Amsterdam's most famous architect of the time. It was built for a very successful beer brewer named Willem van der Heuvel. He changed his name to Bartolotti to honor an Italian relative who had left him a sizable inheritance. The facade has 2 inscribed panels that reflect Bartolotti's and many other 17th century businessmen's values.
The Dutch have a passion for sports, whether it's playing
Bike parking area to a converted ferry filled to capacity with bikes. More people bike than drive to work, and it's estimated that the city has around 1.6 million bikes. That's more bikes than people.
Amsterdam we're able to enjoy today. The wilder the houses dance. The outward lean that you see on so many buildings is another story. It has nothing to do with rotting piles. The facades, or the faces of buildings, were intentionally built this way. In fact, a 16th century law put limits on how far a building could lean forward, lest it topple down.